Good evening. This is Mark Freckleton with One Mentor, and I'm happy to be here. I want to welcome you to session number one. You've heard from Phil a lot about what you want to do with Wake Up Now to make it worthwhile and the purpose of Wake Up Now is to help you better your life and then help you to help other people improve their lives as well. And today you've heard about a lot of the various tools and products that you have available to you to make things better for you. But you're going to hear more about those pretty quickly here in session number two. Now, let me just give you a heads up on where we're headed. You will receive sometime between today and tomorrow morning another email from Francesca, our scheduler, that will invite you to pick a day and time for session number two. You just click the box and fill it in and then hit the submit button. With this email, you'll also have links that will, one link contains the action tasks that you saw at the end of the session. And the other will have a little quiz that is just for you to gauge yourself. I'm not going to see it and you won't get a grade on it. But we want you to go through the whole program here at your own pace as quickly as you feel comfortable. And that means that with some people, that might be one session per week. With other people, it might be one session a day or anything in between. It's up to you. But you have control over that with the scheduling form you're going to receive after each of the first three sessions. Also, I do want to mention that you want to refer to the blog on the Wake Up Now Hub. That has all kinds of information. Now, some of the information will be like the Halloween photo contest, but others, I just actually printed off one just Friday titled How to Share Wake Up Now on Social Media. And it's somebody's idea. Now, these hub articles are written by various people. Some of them are employees of Wake Up Now, and others are just IBOs who have contributed something. But they're worth reading or worth looking at, and those that are valuable for you, pay attention. Also, I want to mention that you have 4 sessions coming. As I said already, you can schedule them as quickly as you want. Following session number 4, you will receive access to the challenge team. As a matter of fact, in session 3, you're going to hear all about how to create referrals, how to get prospects ready to send referrals in on. Session 4, we'll discuss how to submit those referrals, how to finish off with that. And at that point, then you'll get a form that'll be similar to the form you'll be getting for the scheduling, and that'll come with an email. It'll be a Google form you can fill out, and you'll be able to then submit referrals at that time. And in the meantime, we're going to be teaching you how to do that or how to get ready for that. Also, you'll notice that a lot of what today was about products. The same will apply to session number 2. The reason being is that you want to become a product of the product. Now, that's just reviewing what you heard from Phil. I want to add to that the fact that if you are a Wake Up Now person, you're living the one life, then these products are going to be so much a part of who you are that it'll be natural for you to mention them in conversation at appropriate times. And the appropriate time would be when a person that you're talking to expresses curiosity, interest in something that the product could address. If that person expresses a want or a need or a problem that a Wake Up Now product could address. If you're so familiar with these products because you use them on a regular basis, you will be able to just naturally flow into a discussion of that product that will help them, well, create interest in themselves in what that is and want to know more. Now, of course, this means that your attitude will, you'll want to make somewhat of an adjustment. This is going to be a somewhat of a different direction in your life. You don't have to completely remake yourself, but the one thing that's going to help you the most, and I'll put this under a heading of attitude of success, is to remember that, first of all, you can do this, but it will take some effort. By this, I mean take advantage of and benefit from all the Wake Up Now products and build a business to create an additional income for you. Now, what that income becomes is really up to you. Do you just want a few $100 extra a month to help with the bills, or do you want to turn this into a business that becomes your primary source of income? Well, that part you decide for yourself, because either one of those is possible for you, but you do have to believe that you can do it. And we're coming back to that attitude of success I was mentioned. And there's one thing that you can depend on here. And this is no matter who you are, no matter what your circumstances are, because this is a universal law of the universe. That's sort of redundant, isn't it? It's a universal law. If it's a universal law, it's part of the law of the universe, and that is the law of cause and effect, which tells us that everything you do creates some results, effects. Now, if you don't like the effects, what do? Well, you change the cause. If you don't like the result of an action, then you catalog that and remember it, and you don't do that action the same way again. Now, what doesn't work in this regard is complaining about the situation. That does you no good whatsoever. I mean, a lot of people love to complain. It's human nature to like to complain, but it doesn't change anything. If you analyze what you've done and decide on a way to improve on that, well, then that gives you productive response and results. Now, I've got a little saying I like, and it applies to the situation. And the saying goes, everything works, but nothing doesn't. If you think about that, everything you do produces a result of some kind, good, bad, or indifferent. And furthermore, these are results that you can analyze and measure and then see whether they're taking you in the right direction or whether you need a course adjustment. But consider this, what do you get if you do nothing? Well, actually, you're still going to get results if you do nothing. The problem is you did not cause those results. Other people and conditions and events caused the results. And how much control do you have over what other people or events or circumstances create for you? The only way that you can ensure yourself of positive results is to take the action yourself. So it's your causes that will improve your life. Now, here's a counterpart to that idea. Everything works, but nothing doesn't. And that is this: you don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get it going. A lot of people are afraid of making mistakes. And you don't like to make mistakes, but it's going to happen. Years ago, I was teaching college level German. I used to tell the students, before you master this language, you're going to make 500,000 errors. Well, the only way to deal with that is to just keep using it and practicing it and get past them. Because if you're afraid to talk because you might make a grammatical error, you're never going to learn how. So you don't have to get it perfect, but you do have to get it going, because how else are you going to learn to do it? Now, consider this. You get on a flight from Los Angeles to New York. And that airliner is going to be off course probably something like 90% of the time. But The onboard computer is in constant contact with a worldwide network of beacons that keep nudging it back on course so it does land at Kennedy rather than in Bangor, Maine or Atlanta, right? That's the way we are in our lives. We have to keep taking stock, have stewardship meetings with ourselves, and ask, how are we doing and how is it working the way we're doing it? Make changes where you need to and keep doing the things that work. So where does one mentor fit into this? Well, one mentor is going to tell you the things you need to know in order to be successful. Don't you think it'd be a good idea for you to know what you're doing? And that's why you signed up for the training here. Now, what you need to know, we're going to call that the theory. Because, see, the definition of theory is systematically organized knowledge. Got to have the knowledge. You want to have that in an organized fashion, and you want to apply that knowledge within a system. Well, Wake Up Now has created a system for you to not only learn the knowledge, but to apply it. But keep this in mind, nothing happens until you take action. So you have to take action to make practical application of the knowledge you're gaining. Well, that's why we have those action tasks, and they will be attached to each of the scheduling emails you get. You won't get an action task after session 4 because you're going to get the referral form after that. And the actions you take at that point, well, by then you'll have enrolled in and mastered all of the products. In fact, you'll get that today and next week. But you're also going to be able to just apply what you've learned here in getting your organization built. Again, one last thing I want to mention here. This first email you're going to get will have 2 primary assignments. You saw them in the presentation. Phil mentioned them and showed you on the screen. But the 2 big ones are set up TaxBot and review the Vacation Club. I want to just elaborate on that a little bit. Setting up TaxBot, if you have the question of, well, does TaxBot work if I don't have a business or if I'm not self-employed? Well, basically no, because if your entire income comes from your W-2 and your company withheld money for you and then you get it back by filing the return and getting a refund, well, that's sort of poor planning, of course, because if you're getting a large refund, that meant that you gave the federal government an interest-free loan throughout the year. So you don't want to get the refund, but regardless, if you are a self-employed person or you have your own business, then there are all kinds of deductions you can take that would lower the income that you have to report to the IRS. You would actually be making more money, but you don't have to report that much when you file your taxes, so you're paying less taxes. Well, if you're saying, well, I'm not running a business here, I'm not self-employed. Oh, yes, you are, because you are an IBO with Wake Up Now. That is your business. Any money that you spend with Wake Up Now is tax deductible. How much did you pay to join One Mentor? Well, then you want to put that into your TaxBot account as educational expense for my business. How much do you pay each month for your package? Explore package, $150 a month. The Platinum is $100 a month. Whatever they're calling the new one, whatever, is $125 a month. Well, whatever that is, you deduct that amount from your income and you put it into TaxBot as a fee for doing business, a licensing fee maybe. It doesn't matter so much what you call it, but you have to record it there. You have to keep track of it, because how are you going to report it if you don't remember what you spent? And heaven forbid you ever get audited. Now, they do that randomly. They have to pick, I forget what the number is, it's at least 10%. They have to audit 10% of all returns. Now, if it's one that's obviously trouble, obviously messed up, well, then that's a sure thing. I'm just talking about the random ones they pick out. It is truly random, but if your number comes up, then you're going to have to defend all those deductions you took. Well, if you have it recorded in TaxSpot and you print off the report out of TaxSpot that shows exactly what you did, and it has the receipts printed there with it, and all your mileage is there, all your ducks in a row, and your visit with the auditor will actually be pleasant because you've got verification for everything you declared. That'll also make for a pretty short meeting with the auditor, and he'll appreciate that because it lessens his burden. He'll probably take a nap or play a video game while he's waiting for the next one because you had everything in order. Okay, now another thing though I want to mention here, you want to remember that you also have the vacation club. So I'm going to give you a little idea here. I'll make it quick because Ronnie's asking a question. I want to answer that. Here's what I would do when you read the action task, when you get that email, whatever it says about vacation club, let's go a step further. That's how you get ahead anyway, right? You go the extra mile. The average Joe just does what's expected, and you go the extra mile and you exceed what other people get. The extra mile here would be, how about you look at, I'd start with the hot weeks, because those are the least expensive. Those go for about 25% of the normal rental rate for a week at these resorts. And if you don't find who you need there, then go to the 60 days out, because they're still going to be 50% or less of the normal fee for those resorts. All these resorts are high quality. They're all condominiums. A few of them are going to be studio units, but most of them have 1 bedroom, possibly 2 bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, a fully stocked kitchen. They're nicely furnished. It's not cheap furniture. It's high quality furniture. They always have their entire compound there with the swimming pool, hot tub, a workout room at the least, and sometimes a full-fledged gym. And they also have tennis courts in many cases, basketball. A resort that I frequently go to up in just north of us here is adjacent to a world-class golf course, and it's 10 minutes away from the ski resort where they held the downhill races for the Winter Olympics in 2002, Salt Lake Winter Olympics. It's 5 minutes away from a nice lake for boating and fishing. I mean, all that stuff is around when you go to these places. And so the point is that what you do is you just find a week at a place that's close by that, well, let's put it this way. You can get to it in an afternoon. You reserve it. Then you invite friends to come and stay with you. Now, if you're a couple, you invite couples. If you're single, you invite singles. Have them arrange for them to come and stay for 2 days each, so you can rotate through. You get 6 groups going through in the course of the week, and you still have a day by yourself. And you make sure that you're having a whole lot of fun. You're doing all those activities that are available. Then you take photographs of what you're doing, and you post those photographs to social media. And then what you do is, and the way I do that, like let's say we're talking about Facebook. Okay, with Facebook, then I'm not going to just post the entire gallery of all the pictures I took at one time, you know, that's sort of, well, what happens if you post it at 8 o'clock in the morning, and your buddy Frank gets on his Facebook at 9 o'clock that night, 11 hours has gone by, he's got 500 friends. He's never going to see your message. It's too far down. He'd have to keep scrolling and scrolling for a long time to find it. So what you do is you post one picture at a time, maybe every hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, throughout the day. That way, no matter when anybody comes on, it's going to be right there where they can find it because it's so frequent. And the text that you post along with this beautiful picture, they're different pictures as you go along, but the text will be very similar. Something like, here we are with Ed and Lucille taking in the fantastic vistas that we saw on the little hike we took right next to the resort we're staying at. It's a fabulous luxury first-class resort with all the amenities, and it's only costing us $314 for the entire week, thanks to the Vacation Club as part of our Wake Up Now membership. Message me if you would like to join us. You need a little hook in there, right? Anyone that messages you, well, you can inform them, oh, I'm sorry, we're all booked up for this week, but we'll do it again, and I'll make sure you're on the top of the list. But you know what? You ought to find out about this. And then you start talking to them about what Wake Up Now has done for you, and turn them into a referral. I'm not going to go into more detail about that because that's what session 3 is going to be about. But do you see now? You've got people that will be very interested because they're thinking, well, how does he manage to pull off staying at a resort like that? How can he afford that? How could I get into that? And that's why you say, message me if you'd like to join us. And that's why you spread them out throughout the day so that no matter when one of your Facebook or Twitter or Pinterest friends come online, they're going to see one of your pictures with a message. You can send them out as emails too. You know, the virtue of email is it doesn't matter when they come online. It's going to be sitting in their inbox until they either read it or delete it. They got to deal with it somehow. Email's a little bit old school, but it certainly works. You can submit the pictures that way. You can submit the whole, you know, what can I say? I think I can send 15 megabytes now with Gmail. If I size the pictures, I could send 20 pictures that way easily or more. So, you know, that's just an idea. Now, oh, by the way, let's tie that back into the TaxBot because that's what we were talking about first. How does what you just did with the Vacation Club tie into the TaxBot? Well, wait a minute. You had to pay $314, or maybe it's $400, or maybe it's only $120, or maybe because you had to take a 60-day because there was nothing in the hot weeks that's close to home. Okay, maybe you had to pay $400. Well, you put that in TaxBot as a business promotional advertising expense because you did all this advertising among all your contacts in social media. And so it's an advertising expense. Well, you had to travel to get there. You're going there to do a promotional of your business. That's mileage you count. If it's 100 miles to get there, then you just say, what is it this year? $58, I think, a deduction. Well, then you have to come back. So, you know, like $120 that you deduct from your income for mileage. What if you go out to eat with these people, your guests? Okay, deduct the cost of the meal. You see how that works? So everything you do that has to do with Wake Up Now goes into the TaxBot. Anything you pay. Even if you just go to lunch with a coworker one day, well, in the course of the lunch, talk about Wake Up Now for at least, a minute or two. Now that meal is tax deductible. And if you paid for your friend, then you would deduct, well, what you get on meals is 50% of the total, so whatever that is, right? So that's what I mean when I say be a one person, be a product of the product. Think that way. Think of ways that you can use these products to your advantage. Well, I hope by now you can see how you can use TaxBot. I hope by now you can see how you use Vacation Club too. Because sure, it's work, but you're having a heck of a lot of fun too at a resort with friends. Sweet. And you get to deduct it. Okay. So let's address Ronnie's question here. If I post a link of the Thunder drink on the one or the One Fit, would people see my name on the link? Yes. If any time on the hub, when you go to a particular product, if you see a link there, And just for that, I'm going to go to the one select area because that's where the Thunder. Oh, geez, I got to log back in again. If you don't use your hub for 10, 15 minutes, it kicks you out. Okay, I'm on the one select page. And the first one here is the One Fit Weight Loss Protein, $59.95. I put my cursor over it, and it comes up with the 4 little link icons, email, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. So if I click on, and if I click on the bottle, the picture of the bottle above, then it opens up a page that even shows me the nutritional facts and gives me a description of it. And then those links are still up the top there. So if I click on, Facebook, that makes me log into Facebook first. But then when I log into Facebook, then it'll let me post that link. If I'm already logged into Facebook, I don't have to log in again. And it will then direct anyone who clicks on that link in Facebook to your account. Any transactions that if they buy that product, then it's credited to you and you get the PV for it, which would be 20 if they buy 1 bottle of the stuff, 20 PV. So can you see how just by putting things on social media on a regular basis, I mean, what do you got? You got DealStream, you got everything that's in the One Select, which includes the 2 kinds of Thunder and the One Fit, and even the Trevani and the Awaken Citrus Rush and Arabica Black. And by the way, I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't like that Citrus Rush." Let me tell you, you can develop a taste for it pretty quickly. Because I keep it here on my desk and put up my water, and it's very nice. So anyway, any of these that you do, you can get PV, and if you get 90 PV for the month, you're qualified. And if you're getting 20 for just a bottle of the weight loss protein, and you're getting, 24? No, it's 20 if someone buys a case of Thunder. Do that 4 times, 5 times throughout the 30 days. I mean, and I haven't even mentioned the DealStream, and you're doing well. You're not making a lot of money doing that, but you're qualifying very easily, right? Okay, so does that answer your question there, Ronnie? I want to make sure I do that. And meanwhile, do we have any other questions? If not, I just noticed the time, and I've gone about 15 minutes over the time allotted to us. We usually try to get the whole thing done in an hour. This presentation was 45 minutes. The one for session 2 is about 47 minutes. And then I come on. Session 3 is only about 34 minutes. I think session 4 is 38 minutes. So this is the one I have to be careful on, and I have gone long, but I'm happy to, because I enjoy talking to you, and I hope it's all been helpful. I hope you've gained something from this. Now, go out there and do the action tasks that we gave you, and do a good job of it. Just be, very systematic in doing this, because this is for your benefit. This is your business. I'm not going to quiz you on what you've done. And if you follow through and do the things we tell you to do, you are going to become successful. But we want to help you with it. So I'll let you go for now. And I want to thank you for being here. And I wish you a good evening for the rest of the day. And we'll talk to you soon. Good night.